Hey there, Ron Sullivan here, your online hitting consultant. The next drill is drill 6 in learning to switch hit. Okay, so one of the toughest problems, and the reason why we spend a lot of time being very on a bucket, we're isolating the upper half. We had our feet together there for a while because we're still really wanting to concentrate on the coordination of the upper half sequence and so forth. One of the difficult parts of all this is that your body is not used to turning in this direction, right? It's used to turning the other way from your right hand side. Okay, and so what we're doing here is not necessarily a baseball swing as much as we're trying to feel the coordination and the proper use of the ground and how to turn through on this side. Okay, and so we're going to, because I have a heavier ball. Now you can still use the 5-pound ball, right, that I'm using there on the right. But I have a bigger ball here. It's just 1 pound bigger, but now I'm trying to force myself to use both hands in the process and not, obviously I can't palm this ball. Okay, so if you only have the 5-pound ball, that's fine, but we're going to keep the bottom, or I'm sorry, the top hand, or this backhand here, is going to stay on the ball a little bit longer. Okay, because now what I want you to feel is not necessarily, well, what I want you to feel is exactly opposite forces working together. In other words, that same feeling that we had, even though you're not going to be able to necessarily pull on this side, I want you to feel that same feeling of unloading the way we were, right, where that front shoulder is responding to the hands coming through, right? And then this backhand is going to be helping in this direction. Now, I don't want you to chest pass. I don't want you to get here and then push it from your shoulder. I want those hands working through without any resistance, and that's the key. Okay, so all the way back to the very top, right? So as far as you're not going to have to worry about it, oh, he's wanting us to have a big stride. No, maybe if that's what you want eventually. The whole idea here is that I'm making a big move just so I can feel how I'm forcing myself to, number one, learn how to use the ground and have ground force, right? And just really, instead of hitting it with a velvet hammer and just taking a little small step and then doing this, I want you to force yourself out of your comfort zone and really work hard at using the ground to help unload these things that you've been working on. So everything is the same except for we're going to be taking a big stride. As far as the setup here, I don't want anybody to watch this and go, oh, I've got to tuck my front shoulder down. No, it should happen naturally if you were doing the drills right, where your front shoulder was staying down and your hands were back and that back elbow was back. All I'm doing here is maintaining that position in the air. I call it the calm before the storm, right? Some players get a little bit more movement in this part. I don't recommend it right now, that you're just got everything set, you're dropping in, everything's nice and quiet. As my hips gain ground, so go my shoulders, right? I don't want the front foot just to move. I want the body to make a full movement into the ground, not across the ground, but we're going into the ground, right? And then we're going to absorb the ground force and unload, okay? And so, look, the drill's kind of self-explanatory. There's no perfect way of doing this, right? But we want to make sure that we're staying as fluid as possible, and we're not trying to muscle this ball up. I want you to use gravity to help unload in this drill so that both hands are not, there's no resistance for the hands. Okay, the shoulders are moving in response to the hands. Okay, and then also as far as where you throw the ball, give yourself an object like a tee or something like that and just throw it right over the top of the tee. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of you guys are going to try to throw it as far as you can, and that's not the goal. Okay, we're just trying to make a fluid movement here, under control, and just throw it right over the tee. So it's probably going to be working down a little bit, and that's fine. Okay, and then watch my finish here. See how my hands are just right out front? Right now we're not trying to emphasize rotating to throw the ball around. Okay, it's just a straightforward movement. No resistance for the hands. They go right through. Okay, as far as the ground goes, you're probably going to drift a little bit like I did here. It's 6 pounds bearing down on me. I'm really trying to feel the ground and absorb it. It's exaggerated. Okay, we're never going to do this when we hit. Okay, we're going to learn to, but this movement, as you try to control that weight, right, this is going to help you. When we put a bat in your hand, you're going to be able to stay back really easily, right, because you're going to be feeling that ground force and you're not going to have as much weight bearing down on you. Okay, and so don't worry if you drift a little bit. And then as far as your back foot goes, you notice my back foot's kind of dragging. The only advice I'll give you right now with that back foot is, number one, just make sure it doesn't come up in the air. Right now, I know you see a lot of stuff online right now where it show a video of Bryce Harper and his foot's picking up in the air. Okay, there's reasons why his does that. Just because somebody does it doesn't mean it's right. Okay, a lot of times when kids, particularly kids that aren't Bryce Harper, get their foot up in the air, their knee is chucking underneath them. They get knee knocked and their spine goes backwards through contact because of this momentum of that back foot driving up and then underneath them. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. Just try your best to keep that back toe either dragging, or if you can, really control your momentum. Just come up on the toe. It's releasing the right direction there. My momentum continues to take me in this direction, and it's not wrong, but we're trying to control things here. And so the more that we can control it with 6 pounds, then when our bat's in our hand, we won't be dragging across the ground as much. Okay. So anywho, so look, this is a great way to start feeling the coordinated movements, some of the rotational forces that are going to be involved, but most importantly, the ground force that's going to help us unload. Okay, so have some fun with this drill. Get a lot of reps in, man. And I know a lot of you are chomping at the bit. Probably some of you have already grabbed a bat and wanted to do a lot of hitting on this side. I would try to prevent it as long as possible and just keep building this coordination. And so when you do put a bat in your hand, it'll be natural. Maybe not natural, but you'll have to work as hard as everybody else. All right. So this is it. Drill 6. We'll get to the drill 7 here soon. All right. Good luck, guys.